If you took a break from traveling for even a year, there's a real chance you're about to make an expensive mistake. In 2026, people are still showing up to airports and missing flights, getting charged surprise fees at the gate, being denied boarding to Europe, and paying hundreds more than they need to, not because they did something wrong, but because the rules quietly changed and no one sent out a memo. Today, I'm breaking down the biggest travel updates of 2026, the ones costing passengers real money, and the smart adjustments that separate stressed travelers from the ones who glide through the airport like pros. And one of these changes has already caused thousands of people to miss flights. Let's start there. 1. Real ID is no longer a warning, it's enforced. As of May 2025, Real ID enforcement in the United States became fully active. That means if your driver's license isn't compliant and you don't have a passport, you don't fly. Period. No grace period. No, I didn't know. No sympathetic override. TSA is turning people away every single week. And here's what most travelers don't realize. Airport staff cannot fix this for you. The airline can't override it. TSA doesn't make exceptions for vacation plans, weddings, or cruises. The fix is simple, but only if you do it before your trip. Check your ID for the star marking. If it's missing, upgrade it now or travel with a passport. Because the worst place to discover this update is at the security checkpoint. But that's just the beginning. The next shift is how airlines are quietly making billions, and most passengers don't notice until they're standing at the gate. 2. The carry-on crackdown. For years, passengers got comfortable stretching the rules. Overstuffed backpacks, bulging personal items, carry-ons slightly over the limit. In 2026, that era is over. Major airlines, especially budget carriers, are aggressively enforcing bag dimensions and weight limits. Gate agents now regularly use measuring bins, weigh personal items, charge last-minute fees. And those fees? Often $50 to $100 at the gate. That means a family of four could easily lose $400 before even sitting down. This is no longer random enforcement. It's structured revenue. Airlines realize something simple. If checked bags are expensive, passengers bring more carry-ons. If carry-ons are oversized, they can monetize enforcement. Smart travelers now measure bags at home, weigh them in advance, use compliant carry-on models, because arguing at the gate never ends well. And speaking of gate changes, the way you actually board the plane has also transformed. 3. Biometric boarding is now normal. In 2026, facial recognition boarding is standard at many major international hubs. You walk up, the camera scans your face, you board. No boarding pass scan, no phone fumbling, no paper documents. It's fast, efficient, almost futuristic. But here's what most travelers don't know. You can often opt out. Many airports provide alternatives, but they don't advertise that clearly. If you prefer traditional document checks, you typically need to request it proactively. The key shift isn't just technology, it's that the default assumption has changed. Travel is becoming digital first, which leads to one of the biggest surprises for Americans heading overseas this year. 4. Europe now requires pre-travel authorization. If you're traveling to the Schengen zone in 2026 and you're from the US or another visa-exempt country, you now need ETIAS approval before boarding. It's not a visa, but it is mandatory pre-clearance. And yes, people are still discovering this at the airport. Approval usually comes quickly, but if you show up without it, you may not board. Think of it like the ESTA system the US uses, but now Americans have to do something similar before heading to Europe. It costs a small fee, it takes minutes online, but only if you know about it. And here's the bigger lesson. International travel now requires digital preparation, not just a passport. But not all 2026 changes are frustrating. Some are genuinely game-changing. 5. In-flight Wi-Fi is finally good. 5 years ago, airplane Wi-Fi meant slow connections, drop sessions, overpriced frustration. In 2026, satellite-based systems have changed the experience dramatically on many major carriers. You can now stream video, join video calls, work in real time. Upload content mid-flight at 35,000 feet. For business travelers, this changes productivity entirely. For families, it transforms long-haul survival. Connectivity is no longer a luxury perk. It's becoming standard. But while tech improves in the air, loyalty programs are shifting in a very different direction. 6. Loyalty programs now reward spending, not strategy. There was a time when savvy travelers could maximize miles, leverage credit card bonuses, book strategically, unlock outsized value. In 2026, most major airline and hotel programs heavily prioritize revenue over frequency. It's no longer, how often do you fly? It's, how much do you spend? For budget travelers, this feels like a betrayal. For high spenders, perks have improved. The takeaway? Blind loyalty is no longer smart. You now have to evaluate which program aligns with your spending patterns, not just your travel frequency. And this connects directly to another growing frustration. 7. Bag fees are higher than ever. Domestic check bag fees that once cost $25 are now commonly $35 to $45 each way. That means a family of 4 equals $280 to $360 round trip just to check luggage. This is why carry-on enforcement increased. Overhead space became contested. Travelers are shifting toward minimalist packing. Airlines created a pressure system, and passengers have to adapt strategically. Which brings us to hotels, because airports aren't the only places evolving fast. 8. Hotels are quietly going contactless. In 2026, digital room keys through hotel apps are nearly universal at major chains. Many properties now offer full mobile check-in, app-based room access, contactless checkout. Some travelers never stop at the front desk at all. Smart room tech, lighting, temperature, entertainment is expanding beyond luxury properties into mid-range hotels. The friction points of travel are being removed, but only if you know how to use the tools available. Here's what the travel industry won't say out loud. The travelers who understand these changes aren't just more prepared. They save money. They avoid stress. They prevent disasters. They don't argue at gates. They don't miss flights. They don't cry in terminals. Travel in 2026 rewards preparation more than ever and punishes complacency. The rules changed quietly, but now you're ahead of them. If you found this useful, like subscribe, share, send it to someone who has a trip booked this year, because there's a high chance they're missing at least one of these updates. And if you want the next layer, the exact strategies that frequent travelers use to avoid baggage fees completely, choose the right loyalty programs, breeze through international airports, and upgrade their experience without overspending. Because the next video breaks down the 2026 travel optimization system step by step. Travel isn't harder in 2026. It's just different. And the prepared traveler always wins.